What happens when an MLB giant gets ready to tear up the offseason script and completely rewrite the balance of power in the American League? Kyle Tucker, yes, Kyle Tucker, has just become the centerpiece of the biggest bombshell involving the New York Yankees in years, with reports indicating that the Bronx is one step away from finalizing a monumental trade that began right after the move that sent Dylan Cease to Toronto. And this changes absolutely everything in the Bronx. Hello, Yankees Nation. Welcome to Bronx Bomber News, your go-to place for every twist and turn involving the New York Yankees. Stick around, because what I'm about to reveal could flip the entire 2026 lineup upside down, and you won't want to miss what comes next. So jump in, hit the like button, drop your hottest opinion in the comments, turn on notifications, and make sure you're subscribed, because today, the Bronx Bombers universe is on fire. Alright, Yankees Nation, take a deep breath, because the atmosphere in the Bronx today is more electric than an October series. We're talking about a move that not only has the power to completely redefine the team's offensive identity, it also exposes, with crystal clarity, a shift in philosophy inside the front office. This turning point begins with a bold, almost symbolic decision: giving up rotation depth to acquire one of the most complete, productive, and consistent outfielders in modern baseball. Moves like this don't happen by accident. They signal intention. They signal urgency. They signal that the Bronx is tired of half measures. Picture the scene with even more detail. The Yankees watching the entire AL East move. Astros reorganizing their roster after losing key pieces. Blue Jays revamping their rotation with Cease. Orioles accelerating their consolidation process. Red Sox trying not to fall behind. In the middle of all this, New York looks at its own lineup and realizes that relying almost exclusively on the overwhelming power of Aaron Judge is no longer enough to compete with the American League on equal footing. The league has become more athletic, faster, and more aggressive, and the Bronx knows that if it doesn't keep up, it gets left behind. Now place all this into the real context. The Dylan Cease trade to Toronto wasn't the end of anything. It was a trigger, the opening move in a calculated domino effect, a strategic doorway that set the stage for something significantly bigger. And this is where everything changes. Kyle Tucker, coming off an extremely solid season, .841 OPS, 22 hours, 73 RBIs, and 25 stolen bases, isn't just a good player. He is exactly the mold Brian Cashman has been trying to find for years. A dangerous lefty capable of producing both average and power, with speed that affects the game on every base and reliable defense that stabilizes an entire outfield. He covers ground. He applies pressure. He converts dangerous at-bats into concrete production. The logic, when you lay all the pieces out on the table, is almost unavoidable. If Judge is the pillar, Tucker is the perfect counterweight. One complements the other. One balances the other. One frees the other. And the reports keep pushing in the same direction. New York is willing to sacrifice rotation stability to embrace an offensively dynamic future that fits perfectly with the division's style of play. And it's important to remember, Tucker isn't a rental. He isn't a short-term piece. He isn't an experiment. He's the type of player who reshapes not just one season, but an entire competitive window. Now, let's paint an even clearer picture of this multi-team deal. Toronto gets Cease, a strikeout ace with numbers that show not just talent, but consistency and volume. The Cubs breathe easier by taking a huge financial commitment off their payroll and gaining room to restructure their direction. And the Yankees, well, the Yankees get a player who doesn't just enter the lineup, he shapes the lineup around him. The optimistic perspective, New York finally fills that lefty outfield gap that has existed since Brett Gardner's most productive years. A player who balances the lineup, forces defensive adjustments, and changes how opposing teams deploy their pitchers. The cautious reading, you lose a trusted starter. And in the AL East, where every series feels like a mini playoff, top-tier arms are never a luxury. They're always a necessity. And giving them up requires courage and conviction. The front office view? If you want to play in October with real impact, you pay for talent that delivers immediate impact. And Tucker is exactly that. Hit the like button if you believe Tucker is exactly the player this outfield has been missing, and comment below. Is it worth giving up an elite arm to bring in a lefty who changes games? Yankees Nation, we've reached a moment to put everything into perspective. The push for Kyle Tucker isn't just aggressive, it's symbolic. It's proof that the Yankees are tired of playing defense and want, once and for all, to build an offense that doesn't depend exclusively on Judge to produce in critical moments. If Toronto strengthens its rotation, if Chicago gains financial freedom, New York targets the piece that can most dramatically reshape the hierarchy of the American League. The question I leave for you is simple. Do you prefer the security of Cease or the offensive explosion Tucker brings to turn this lineup into an October machine? Comment below, smash the like button, and subscribe so you don't miss a single spark of this wild offseason. The story is just beginning, and the Bronx is about to shake.